Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day here at Captain Crossbones Cove. Today, we are taking a look at Drain Simulator. Dive into Drain Simulator and seize control of the floods. Clear the city's submerged streets with a huge range of different tools, from rakes to submersible pumps. Embrace the satisfaction of restoring the water flow. Become the city's hero, one drain at a time. So, this game was released by Code Peas and released on the 3rd of March 2026. Now, they are still in early access and plan on leaving early access by 2027. The recent updates. So, with their recent updates, they have added new vehicles. I'm just trying to find that for you. Okay, so added new vehicles and new shop. Added simplified Chinese and Swedish language, support and improved localization, improved performance and reduced VRAM usage across multiple areas, fixed multiple save game issues including water height, tool duplication and pipe states, improved overall water simulation stability, and fixed various water source bugs. Improved replay system including reward balancing and end screen feedback, replaced radio voice with human voice actor, and improved audio settings. Improved tool and interaction systems including selling, weight, handling, and input behavior, fix multiple collisions and navigation issues across levels, especially parking garage, farm, and church, fix crashes and stability issues including Linux, Proton, related problems for those of you on Linux, and various UI improvements and bug fixes. Okay, so this is currently available on Steam for $12.99. For each mission, you'll receive a crucial intel in advance and must carefully plan the tools you want to bring. Consider the time of day, type of terrain, and distance from your generator to your electric tool. Working late into the evening, don't forget the floodlights. Need to drain multiple areas simultaneously? Bring extra pumps and generators. Is there diggable ground? Better bring a shovel. With each mission success, you'll earn recognition and unlock new tools and upgrades to boost your drainage capabilities. So, without further ado, let's get going. So, we're going to run through the tutorial first of all. is going to be the start. We will earn some funding for doing this as well. So that is helpful. But at the same time, it is also going to give us the basics of what we need to do. So onwards and upwards. We'll just load the game. Okay.
Continues to be cut off from the outside world due to a catastrophic landslide that has blocked all access roads. This extended isolation has prevented emergency vehicles from reaching our town to provide assistance to our fellow residents in need. Despite the passage of time, our local officials...
Okay, so this is the beginning. So this is us. Now we want to press down to open the map. White circles highlight where the drains are. So what does it want us to do? It wants us to pick up the rake. Okay, so we'll collect the rake, search for the storm drains in this area. So again, checking out the map on your tablet, the worst areas are in red, which is deep water area. Your white lines that you see with the or in the circle, they are storm drains. It also tells you where your tool locations are. Flood zone is in the blue zone, and you also have broken pipe. So, okay, let's progress through this tutorial. What's going on here? Right, so I just need to sort that out. There we go. Right, okay, so we'll close the map. Now we'll use the controller to show the tool menu at the bottom. We'll grab our rake and we will aim for the first drain. Okay, so there's our first one. Our second one is over here. We'll grab that one. And we want to find the last storm drain. Now, it does have these bubbles in the water which do help you locate where it is. So I do find that very, very useful. So that is now all three drains done. The red regions on the heat map define where the water needs to be the deepest. Go to the backyard. Okay, so want to aim for here. Oop. Put the tool away. There we go. Right, turn on the power. So we want to come down here and we want to turn on the power. Oop. There we go. Now it's asking to pick up the wrench and interact with the broken pipe. Come on. There we go. I think. No. There we go. Why isn't it playing ball with us there? Okay, so we want to hold our T on the controller and at the same time turn it. That now turns that. Okay. Now we need to collect this light outside. Now, I have noticed with this, there isn't any way of turning it in rotation other than the best way to rotate it is by you moving. So it's not one of those where you can stay still and rotate. Right, now we want the shovel, and we're going to clear a path here. So we want to clear all this here. Okay, so draining it through into a hole in the neighbour's garden. Don't know if we're supposed to, but it's asking us to. Right, so we'll clear as much as we can to do that. There we go. Now we want to pick up the bucket, and we now need to scan the remaining area. So use the scan action to find the remaining water. So we push the left arrow on our D-pad, and that reveals the remaining water level. Okay, so we'll now scoop that with the bucket. We'll empty that. Okay. Again into the hole that's in the neighbour's garden, and that will, there we go. So now the neighbour has a nice pond. Can we get rid of that last little bit? No, we're done. Okay, so now we need the pump. So there is a pump just here, and we want to place that just there, and then send the pipe up, and we want to put that, if we can. Why not? Right, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move the pump just slightly. There we go. So we'll move that just slightly forwards, nearer the stairs. And we should now be able to run that down there so that it doesn't come back on us. And grab the generator. Okay. Now, there is a wire here. I'll grab that, and we want to link the wire between the generator and the pump. Once we've done that, we can then turn the pump on, and as you can see, that is now pumping water into the neighbour's garden. There we go. So that was the basics of the job with the tutorial. So moving forwards now.
In flood-related oddities, A major suburban street has somehow been completely drained. No city crew, no paperwork, just gone. Locals report seeing some guy wandering around with a plunger on his belt. Mysterious. Also,
Mysterious.
one garden in the area was discreetly drained into the neighbor's yard through a gap in a
Wasn't
fence
us.
that, according to several chatty residents, was supposed to be fixed months ago. Coincidence? Spite? An elaborate passive-aggressive art piece?
Okay. So moving on, our first job now we've done the tutorial is Midtown Market. So we'll select mission and then we are brought over to all our equipment selection. Now, obviously we want to select the items we need. You have got a shop where we can purchase obviously new pumps. We can purchase another generator, more sight lights, bucket, inflatable barriers. So there is multiple options. One of their new patch note updates as well, they have brought these vehicles in. So we start off with our pickup truck, and then as we progress forwards, we can have the choice of different vehicles. Now, with the vehicles, they do come with a weight limit. So as you can see down here, just underneath shop, it says pick up, and you've got the weight, which is 70 out of 180. So that's 70 kilograms already. Now, what I want to do, first of all, is I want to sell the old pump because we don't need that, and I'm going to upgrade to a Mark III. Now I could go with a Mark II. You know what? Let's go with the Mark II first. We'll start off with that one. So we'll come down here now. As you can see, our first pump we started with is no longer available. So we are no longer able to select that. So we'll come down the bottom of the list here, and we've got pump Mark II. So we'll select that one, and we'll now start our first main mission. Okay. So we're moving on to our first mission. Okay. And this is Midtown Market. To use the nearby river to get rid of water quicker. Okay. So the back alley is needing to be done. Bear with me a moment. Bit of a moment here. We need to just sort that. There we go. Right. So what we'll now do, we'll collect the pump, the generator, the wiring. We want the rake, and we'll grab our hoover. So we don't need anything else, just what we've got available there. These are just the main tools that are required. Right, so as we can see, all of this area here is completely underwater. We also have an issue in the cafe here. In here it is completely flooded as well. Now, before we do anything with the cafe, what we're going to do is we're going to locate our drains. Again, we can look on the map and see how close we are. But again, if you look very, very closely, you can see bubbles. Now those bubbles indicate where our drains are. So using the rake like we did in the tutorial, we're going to rake all the sludge. There we go. So we'll now locate our next two, which we've got one here next to seating area 1, and we've got another one here. Okay, so that is those 4. And if we come up this way, there's another one here. Again, you can continue to check your map to see where you are, but at the same time, if you look for the bubbles in the water, that generally indicates there is a drain there. Okay, so we've got that one. We've got another 2 here, either side of sitting area 2. So we'll grab that one and we'll do the same this side. There we go. And then if we come up this way, there's another one here. And again, over the other side. Okay, so we'll get those underway. They'll be a great big help to clear this. So we don't have to worry too much. There's another 2 just up this way here. Okay, so there's one, and we've got another one just here. Okay. So that is all our drains completely unblocked. There isn't any others for us. Nothing here. So while they're now doing their job, obviously we're going to have to come back and keep an eye on those, purely because the sludge that you've just cleared can reappear, as you see there. That one just reappeared then. So we'll always have to maintain these drains while we're draining the water away. Okay, same again here. We'll make sure that one's done. And again, as you can see, it's starting to come back again. So we want to make sure that the drains are kept clear so that all our water here drains away. So again, another one here. Another one about to appear there. So the water level has dropped quite considerably. And since obviously we unblocked these drains, that one's just waiting for it to load. There we go, got it. Right, so now we've done those, our main next priority is going to be the cafe. And we want to make sure that that is done and clear. So we'll grab our Mark II pump. We'll place that there. And we want to bring the pipe there. So it will do its best in clearing this area and not coming back in. Right, so connect our wiring and turn the generator on, turn the pump on. So now that is pumping the water out the cafe for us. What we need to do is keep an eye on the drain that we're draining into. Okay, so that's going to pump the water out of this area quite quickly. Okay, so the only part that it doesn't drain is this bit. Now, that is because they've put this unit here to kind of block water. Right. So that's doing its job. What we could do with doing is just nipping back to the pickup. And what we can do, we can grab the squeegee, another great tool to use. So with this, what we can do is we can push the water towards the pump. So, for example, over this end, as you can see, we've got all this water in here still. So we'll squeegee that back this way. And push the water as far away from here as we can so that we can fill the pump without it straining, as you can possibly hear that it already is. So we'll bring that, spin round. We want to carry on pushing what we've got here. get as much of it out as we possibly can using the pump. Okay. So we'll pull that this way again towards the pump. Now, we will have to move the pump very shortly, because obviously the water level behind the counter doesn't change, so we need to sort that manually. Once we've cleared this, we'll sort that. So again, push the water towards the pump. Want to pump as much of it out as we can. And we've got water there. Okay. So that is as much as we can get to the pump currently. As you can see, there's still floats of water about. Now we can just pull that as best as we can, because our pump is starting to struggle. So what we could do is we'll put that on there. Don't know why it's done that. Right, okay. So we'll grab our squeegee. Now we've got a hoover that we can use to hoover the water that is excess. So we'll grab what excess water is here first. Because we haven't got to worry about the water coming from round the back of the counter. So that is now the pump or the hoover full. Our drain here needs sorting. So that's come back again. There we go. Let's get rid of the sludge. Same there. We'll do these again. This just keeps everything clear. We will come to seating areas afterwards, but as you can see how quickly the water's drained for us just from clearing the drains has been a great help. So we've got another one here. Clear that one. Okay, same here. Let's get that one redone. I want to keep the sludge away from the drains as much as possible. The reason for that is it prevents the area from filling up all over again. Right. So, moving forwards back to the cafe. Now we've cleared the areas. Don't know why that one just reappeared. They're reappearing quite quickly. So it's a case of cat and mouse to make sure that we clear the drains as quickly as possible. So now we'll put our pump over there and we'll send the pipe out here. Again, we want the cable, and we can turn the generator on while we've got cable anyway. Oh, there we go. So now that's going to clear the water for us from behind. Obviously it's going to throw a bit of a wobbly because it wants to think it's clear, then it's not. Right, okay, so the pump's now starting to struggle, so we'll just assist it just a little bit. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll grab that, we'll do the same with that, we'll grab our Hoover, okay, so this is just making sure the cafe is completely clear. As you can see, it's now marked off the list. So we've still got water to get rid of here now because we had that water being pumped out. So we'll clear these drains. That will sort itself, but we will give it some assistance. So the great thing is, again, we'll get the squeegee and we'll just gather the water. Okay, head that towards our drains. So again, we're just clearing the excess from the cafe, and now our first drain is sludging again. So we'll clear that. There we go. Now, for these seating areas, what we can do, we can get our submersible pump, and we can do this with other jobs that have a drain close by as well. We can put the hose from the pump directly into the drain itself. So that's now going to drain that for us. We want to again keep this drain area clear. Want to find the excess water. So we don't need to worry about the seating area for now. What we can do just for the time being is sort out clearing the water from there. Okay, so just found a puddle. There we go. Again, we'll run that. Okay, how's that looking? That's doing really well. Find the excess water. Some here. Again. I'm not sure what the purpose of being able to drag the rake is. I haven't discovered that one as of yet. The only thing I have really discovered is having to use just the automatic button that does that for us. Right, so I'm sure we'll come across what that will be for. Okay, and we'll completely bring the water this way. To the right area is almost done. We can start by squeegeeing the water because the pump is struggling, as we can hear it. So the more we can bring the water to it, the better that's going to be. Okay, so we'll come over here and we'll grab what we can find this end. That is to tell us that the right side is now clear. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to grab hold of our pump and the generator. We're going to just suck up the excess water in the seating area. There we go. Now, what we can do while we're progressing forwards, we've got the nearby river just here. So, what we can now do is empty that into there. That frees that up for us. Okay. Let's have a look. We've got sitting area 2 and the back alley left to sort. So sitting area 2 we've got here. Again, we want the submersible pump, and we'll drop the hose into the drain. We'll grab the generator and we'll put that there, get that going, and we'll connect everything. There we go. Okay, so that is direct into the drain, so it doesn't make any mess for us to deal with. Now, there we go. Let's unblock these. Not that we need to anyway, but it helps because if we do get to the point where we made a mistake and emptied water from the Hoover, for example, at least we know the drain is clear and it won't take long to drain. So again, what we can do to help the process we'll just grab squeegee and we'll push the water to the pump. Just help drain it quicker. Okay, and again. Right, so what we'll do while we're here as well, we'll make a start on using the Hoover on it. It's not going to make a big difference, but it's going to make some difference. Right, so we'll go and empty that down here. Straight into there. Now, again, how we're looking here. Okay, so the pump is now starting to struggle. So we'll get that. We'll get the Hoover again. As there's not much left in the area to clear, we can just grab the Hoover to get any excess. And we'll see that go green once we are done. Right. We've just got to go empty that. And that's just cleared. So we've only got the back alley left to do. Now that is just here. So we'll empty our water out. We'll go ahead and grab our submersible pump. And we will place that there, which then allows us to put the hose directly there. We'll grab the generator and that can sit there. Turn that on, connect to our pipe. Actually, do you know what we'll do first? Because I don't think that that's actually going to be the best position for it. We'll change the position of the pump. That's better. There we go. So that was kind of looking a little bit slanted. We don't want that. We want it to be in the best position as possible. Right. So that is now sorting that for us. What we can do is that we'll grab our squeegee and we'll push the water towards it. Just help it along. Okay, so that this is then done and dusted for us. Keeping an eye on our meter as well. Okay, so pump's doing a fantastic job for us. We're just assisting with the removal of the water. Okay, so we'll carry on pushing it. As you can see, it's got a lot smaller now. So it's just gonna need that little bit of assistance as we're starting to see it struggle. Okay, so that is getting smaller as we speak. Carry on just pushing it towards the pump. Whatever we don't get, we can sort manually. So what we'll do now is we'll pack our stuff that we're not going to use. Grab the Hoover, because that will just finish off this area nicely. There we go. There we go, we're done. Okay, $1,100 in the bank, and we can now move to the next area.
Downtown cleanup crews are scratching their heads today after waking up to find the entire Midtown Market area, previously one big urban swimming pool, completely drained. Still no official explanation, but guess who was spotted again? Yep, that same mystery figure, plunger on the belt, attitude unknown. Oh, and the beloved corner cafe? Also dry. Locals are thrilled, though the owner reportedly wants to thank whoever did it with at least 3 free croissants. And
That'll be lovely.
So who is this guy? A rogue plumber? A wet-footed vigilante? Or someone who really missed espresso?
Okay, so moving on, we're now going back to the market, but this time we're doing some magnet fishing. So we don't actually need any of our tools other than the magnet. So onwards and upwards. Let's go and see what treasures we can find. To fish for trashy goodies and claim money rewards. Okay, so that is our challenge. Okay, so instant we can see just there we've got a safe. So we'll aim for that one first. That was a great hit. Straight on it. There we go. What we got? An ashtray. Really? Okay. Got that. What we got? Oh, we lost it. Okay. So we did just pick up a monitor and a safe, but we kind of lost the monitor, and in the safe all we got was a ashtray with some bag butts. That wasn't very the best haul. Right, well, we'll go down here, look. Let's go down. Pulled it too quick. Let's see if we can. There's something there, but it's just trying to. There we go. We got a bicycle. Okay, so a bicycle for us. What else is there? There's something just down here, I think. No. Thought there was. No, never mind. Some bubbles just down there. Did we get anything? No. Oh, we got something now. What do we get? Tin can. Okay. So, what's over here? Got something there. Pair of pliers. Okay. So something over here. No. Not having much luck with today's. Right, anything? Nice and slow. Got something there. A can. Really? Just a can. Okay. Got something there. Another tin can. Not having much luck with this magnet fishing. There's something just there. Nope. Probably because I pulled too quick. There we go. We got something there. A circuit board. Something in the water just there. Got it. A chair. Okay. Right, so from our little treasure hunt, we found $76.
Good morning. Midtown Market remains dry, which still feels like a small miracle. Credit for that goes to our plunger-equipped flood fighter from earlier this week. Even Master Chief would give a respectful nod for that kind of flood cleanup. Yesterday, someone was spotted magnet fishing in the river. No permits, just a rope and a magnet. They hauled up carts and scrap metal, easing the flow a little. Was it the plunger guy? No confirmation. Now the problem moves uphill. A forest road above town is packed with mud and debris after the landslide, holding back water. If
Okay.
that pressure releases all at once, we're back to square one. That road needs clearing. Stay safe.
Okay, so moving on to the forest. We want to make sure that we've got enough equipment. Now, what I would suggest with this is that we purchase some inflatables. We want to we'll purchase a second generator. We'll sell one light because we don't need two, and we'll purchase a second pump. Okay, so what we'll now do is we'll grab those that we need. Okay, now what we're going to do is head to the forest, prepare to dig. Okay. So, just loading the game level. Now this one's going to be a fun one. Right, so apparently Street 1's already done. Nope, there we go. Right, so empty tutorial, empty inventory, sorry. What we'll do, we'll grab both of the generators. We don't need the squeegee, so I don't know why. Oh, gonna need the cable, and we're gonna need these. And what I would suggest is just taking the 3 for now. We can always come back for the other one when we need to. Right, don't need that. We want the shovel. Now, this is Street 1. As we can see, it is completely submerged. So, we'll grab a light first of all. And we can put that so that we can see. Not so great there. Right, come on. We'll put that there. Is that any better? It'll do. It'll do. Right. So we don't want to dig any of this mud away, because if we do, then it's going to come back on us here. What we want to try and do is utilize this area to hold the water back there. So, what we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to grab our pump and we'll submerge that as best as we can, because obviously we're going to be swimming. We'll send that down there. And what we want to do is set up a generator here and place the cable again onto the submersible. Now we'll switch that on. And as you can see, the water is flowing lovely. It is overflowing from here at the same time. But we're not too worried about that, because that just helps once the water level drops. Obviously, it'll rely on the pump. Now, over here in Street 2, we've got a little dam just here. Now, where did my shovel go? Didn't want to lose that, and we seem to have misplaced it. Okay, so we're just gonna hunt for the shovel. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. I thought I'd picked it up. Never mind. Right, you get out the way. We'll grab the shovel. Now, we're gonna head over to Street 2 with the shovel. And what we're going to do here is there is a mud pile that's creating a dam. Now down here is a little reservoir kind of zone. So what we can do with that is that we can take away all of this, first of all, because we don't need that in its place. So then that is going to feed the water directly down to that reservoir for us. Okay, so just making sure that we are completely clear there. Now, over here, as you can see, it's quite deep. So what we're going to do, first of all, we're not so deep here now. We'll come over here and we're going to grab hold of the barriers. So we want these inflatable barriers to work with us. So as you can see just here, the water is currently tipping down through the mountain. Now, that is pushing water as quick as we're trying to get rid of it. So, we're going to put the generator there. We want the shovel. And what we're going to do is that we're going to take away just some, not all of it, just some of it, of this mud. So what we're going to kind of create is a dam effect, but like a little pond. Right, so as you can see, already it's starting to make a difference. So again, we don't want to take too much away from the front face. We just want to take enough that we can create a dam effect behind it. Okay? So we'll get as much as we can of that out of our way. Again, as much of the area clear as possible. But we just don't want to go too crazy. So, again, we'll go here. Okay, so if we come round the back over here, again, not too far, not too go too crazy. Already, as you can see, the water is redirected. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, is that redirection. We don't want it to flow as much as possible in all areas. So I'll just take a little bit more from here because we are going to need to submerge the pump. Okay, so again, another bit here. A little bit too much. but that's okay. We can work with that. Now, we're going to get... What the heck? Okay. Wasn't expecting to see that. Right. So, now we'll go ahead and we'll get these barriers. So we're going to start from this position here. And we'll go and stretch that as far as we can there. Okay. Now, what we need is our pump. So again, we want to find the most suitable place to submerge it. And once we are done, that didn't go to plan. It's because the pipe is over here, not over there. So we'll now connect our submersible pump into the barrier. If it will let me. Come on. There we go. Nearly had it. It will. There we go. It will go. Right. So our first barrier. Now we'll get that and we'll turn that on and we'll get this barrier up. Again, I can see a little bit here that we can take away just to help improve the setup we're going for. What's going to happen is that the water is going to find another point, obviously, to travel. So we want to try and block as much of that as we possibly can. So already I have made it stop, but as quick as I've done that is as quick as it's going to start flowing again. And we don't want that. So I've got a bit of water there that we can get rid of. So already, because we've stopped the water flow, it has already started receding down on this end. Now, what's going on there? Thank you. Right. So what we'll do now is that we'll grab the submersible, and I've made a mistake because I didn't want to drop the shovel. Never mind, it's one of those. So as you can see, the water is going to currently build up here, which means that as quick as that fills, we're going to end up with another problem. So we'll grab a second barrier. We want to place that not there. No, thank you. Nearly lost it. Right, so we want to get this barrier as best as we can, because now the water's starting to flow this way. So what I'm gonna... What the heck? I don't know what's happened there. Just a mind of its own. So, right, let's try you again. Right, okay. So, again, we want to locate that as best we can this way. And we all connect our pump, which I've got to put in the water. So, thought I'd done that. Never mind. Okay, so that goes into our thing there. We'll grab the cable and reconnect our pump. So now that will fill that one. In the meantime, while that's filling, we can take away some more area just here. Again, not too much, but just enough so that we can create that dam. So again, we're going to take away as much area here as possible. Okay. So again, that has stopped the water flow while we are working here. We'll take out this bit here, give ourselves a bit more of an area to progress with. Now, that one just... There we go. Okay. So again, that is now inflated for us, and that is going to keep the water at bay there. We'll get our next one, and we're going to put that one across here. So again, that will help us with stopping the flow. What's going on? Right. You've always got to make sure as well that you're in a blank spot, because if not, you end up losing your tools. So, right, we'll connect that one to our pump, if it will let us. There we go. Turn that on, and that is now going to inflate that, which will stop the flow again for us. So we're creating kind of like a dam effect while we're working on the area, because we don't want to have too much water gushing towards us while we're trying to create a channel. So, right, we'll grab that, because we don't need that. That's going to now stay in that situation for us. Now, if I'm correct, just over here on the roads, we've got some dirt that we can pull away. Right. Now, while we're letting that one do that, how are we looking on Street 1? Street 1, it's starting to struggle. So, we'll put in our first original pump that we started off with on the tutorial. Because obviously we still want to keep a pump going here to empty the water. And what we can do is leave that to now carry on for us. Now over here, what we want to do while we've stopped the water coming down from the mountain, we've still got quite a deep area to deal with. So I'm going to grab the pump and we're going to put the pump over here as far as we can so it doesn't back on us. We'll put the generator there. We'll put that to there. And now what we'll do, we'll get that going. Okay, so now that's going to help with reducing the flow of water in this area. As you can see, it's filling up lovely just down here. Now once the pump is finished on Street 1, we could use that to help us on the other one, but for now we can manage with just that one. Now if we look on the map, we can see the location of our tools, and we can also see that there is a storm drain. Now if we come over to here with our shovel, we've got bubbles. Now that's showing a storm drain just here. So if we dig away, that is now going to help us with the reduced flow of the water. Okay, so we'll dig out as much as we can. And we're still swimming. Right. Can we get it from here? There we go. Okay, so that's now the storm drain revealed. We are now going to clear as much of the dirt as we can to obviously help with the flow of the water from this end. So this will get rid of all of this water off the mountain that has already fallen. So we'll clear that. Okay, so we've created a nice channel there. That's going to pull the water from this direction. I think that was to let us know Street 1 is now done. Yes, it is. Okay, but there is still some water there, but that's not going to be too much of an issue for us, because what we can now utilize this pump for, we only need the one generator. But like I say, what we can utilize that for now is to help us with the stopping of flow along here. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all get rid of any excess water that we have around here. Okay, so we'll make a channel along here, which will then help us with the reduction of the water flow, because we don't want too much water from the mountain coming down and obviously going on to the road. So what we'll do first of all is that we're going to clear the area here. And that will make sure that the water flow of any excess on the road is going to our storm drain. So we'll clear the area here as well. This will create a channel for that water. Okay, because we've got water flowing there. Now, oh dear. Okay, so we've got a bit of a issue now because our barriers aren't holding. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dig a channel along here because we want the water flow to aim for that storm drain, and that'll explain as well to us why we're having the problem with the water still flowing on the road. So if I create this channel now, before we dismantle the barrier at the top, what we can then do is direct the water this way instead of it trying to go the way we don't want it. Okay, so again, clear as much as we can, because we want a decent channel down to the storm drain. Obviously we're going to have to just sort out the areas here like so. Utilizing as well the fact that we have a really good mountain that we can direct the water flow from without taking too much dirt that it's gonna overflow in the wrong places. So let's now start coming down here. Because now we're going to direct it this way. Again, clearing the area, but not too much that we cause a major ruckus. Just enough so that it can be directed to that storm drain. Okay, now on to over here. so it's gonna pull up over here now. So because of that, we want to pull away this area, giving it that direct flow into the storm drain, as I said. Again, we don't want it continuing to flow on the road because we're trying to prevent that from being the case. So if we can send it this way by making a decent sized channel like so, obviously you can see where it's backed up. So what we can now do is I can deflate this one. Hopefully that's just deflated the right one and not the long one. Nope, we are right. It has deflated the one that we want it to. So as it's done that for us, we can now take, once that's completely empty, there we go. Okay, now we can dig away here, because right here is where we want the water to travel. Okay, so obviously we're going to end up with a major backup here, because that's just how it is, unfortunately. But we can prevent that from happening. We need to solve this area here. Right, so because of it now flowing there, we need the light. So bear with me 1 second. I shall go and get that sorted. It is over here. So we've still got this area to complete. But for now, the more important area is what we're doing over there. Right, so I want to grab hold of that, because we don't want to leave the shovel behind. So we're going to come up here now, and what we're going to do is grab the light where we're working as best as it will do. It's not going to work there for us, so we'll come up here and we'll place it just there, because this is where we're currently working. Now, as you can see, we've got water travelling this way. So what we'll do is we'll grab that and we'll put that just here, which means then we can try our best to keep the flow going the way that it is going, while we obviously sort out everything on here. What's going on here? Right, so That's that in place. Let's get that switched on. We'll put that on there and get the pump up and running. We just want to take out a small chunk there, which will now help us. We can now release the water flow a little bit more from here, if it'll let me. Come on, there we go, thank you. Okay, so just again, you don't want to take too much of it away, just enough to be able to send the flow in a controlled manner. Because the more control you have of it, the better. So we're gonna just make a bit more of a channel. And this is why I say, you know, ideally we could do with putting that barrier where we've just put it, because it will help us. I don't know why we're struggling to take out any dirt from here, but that's fine. There's enough anyway there to work. Okay. What we got here, we can take some out of this bit. All we're trying to do is control the water flow the best we can to go in the direction that we want it to. Because we don't want the water coming down there. So, again, this is why you want to block it as best you can while you create the best channel that can be created. So now we've got that there, which is not going too badly. I don't know why there's a lack of flow. And there's plenty of water there. Maybe we need to just maneuver that. Nope, there we go. Found a little area here that we can utilize. Grab me spade because we don't want to lose that. But even still, that has helped motivate the flow of the water to come this way. So realistically, we could take that one away from the situation now. Okay, so there we go. So that is now creating a water channel for us down to here and into our storm drain. So we're going to obviously take out some more of this area here, because this is where the water is now flowing to, and we want to give it a really good channel. So now we've finished up here and the water's not flowing that way at the moment, we could still technically put our pump into it. I'd still like to create that kind of a barrier just to be on the safe side. So we'll carry on filling that. There we go. The pump's in the better position for it. Plus that now allows us to just do a little bit more digging just here. Again, not taking too much away, just enough to help with that flow coming down. As we don't want to go too bad with it, too mad, whichever word we're going to use. But yeah, that has now created us a really unique channel to help drain the water down to the storm drain. We can now take our pump and we can now take the generator, because we don't need those. We'll grab the light, as we now know there's no water flow coming through there. So we're going to follow our channel to here, which is where we have the setup of the channel. Okay, so as you can see, that is giving us a really nice flow. We're going to just clear this area here to also drag water through. But again, as you can see already, we've made such a difference. And we are literally almost to the point where the water is completely gone for what we need. Right, so as long as that channel remains unbreached, you're okay. Don't want that channel from the mountain to breach, otherwise you're back to square one again, where you're having to try and solve the issue. So let's now check that over. So that is, there is still a flow here. Now where that is coming from is another question. It's not coming from here, which is where we've blocked off. So we've done a great job of that. Let's just check on down here. No, we're okay. So there's no water coming down off the mountain in the wrong area. That is now all coming down the channel we've created to the location of the storm drain. So we'll take that little bit out there. What we got over here? Nothing. And we'll clear the road here so that we can get that water down to our pump. So there isn't a case of having to dig a lot of the dirt away. This is just literally a case of digging enough to make channels. Your main focus is getting rid of the water. So that is our main goal. But at the same time, you want to make sure that the road is completely clear so that obviously cars can pass. So again, just this area on its own will clear all the mud away. There we go. Grab those bits. Now, as you can hear, the pump is now struggling. So we're going to add our second pump just down here to take control of that flow, so that we can relocate the other one. Obviously, we should now have stopped the flow altogether from coming onto the road, but we can check that. Right, let's turn that one off and we'll turn that one on. There we go. Grab hold of that one, because we don't need that at the moment. There's a little bit of water flow along here. Now, what we can do, we can grab our fourth barrier and we can run that to here, and we'll grab our pump from earlier on and we can connect that. Again, this is just going to help prevent the flow of water from going on to the road. So we'll turn that on, turn that on, get that pumped up. As you can see, there is quite a bit of water still just here. So we're trying to prevent that from flowing, because we want it to aim for the storm drain. So what I'm going to do is, because that pump is now struggling, we're going to take out some more dirt from this way and redirect the flow as best as we can from that other puddle. Because just over here we've got quite a bit of water left from the water flowing off the mountain. Now, obviously we've stopped that flow from going that way, so we just want to make sure that we can just clear some of this out of the way, and we need to just figure out which direction we need to send it. So if we dig away here, we can then reduce the flow from here. Hopefully aim this where we are currently aiming the water. So we want to take out this area here. So I want to clear as much of that water as possible. Just help with things. So it's kind of like a pond of its own just here, which isn't too much of a problem anyway. We could quite happily keep that here. So just trying to have a look and see if we can do anything with it, but as long as that stays flowing down here, then we're all right. Can we get a bit more away from there? Yeah. Okay, so bring some more flow of water down. Again, we don't want to breach our area. We want to try and keep it as best as we can, but at the same time we need to get that channel flowing quicker. So we'll give it more just here, look. There we go. Okay. Now that has a nice pile there, and that has a really good flow. What we could ideally do with doing is just relocate the pump, because we seem to be... Oh no, I see where the problem is. I see where our problem is, look. So we need to get rid of the mud from there. Hey, there we go. That's got it. I missed that bit. I didn't see that back because it was dark. Right, okay. So, we really don't want it to aim on the road. And now, as you can see, the water flow has gone a lot quicker. So, what we can now do is grab that pump again, drop that there. Right. Attach it to that. Grab that onto there. Okay, so that's now going to fill that for us. We can pack this one away. Same with that one, because we don't need those. What we now do need to do is just let that fill up. That will stop any water flow here. While we're waiting for that to be done, we'll run over to the truck and we'll go ahead and grab the hoover, not the rake. Thank you. Right, so with this one, because we've now got a dam in place, we can just hoover up these last areas until it says that we are done. There we go. So Street 1 is now flood free. And we've just got Street 2 left to sort. Hey, bit of a thing going on there. Is there something we can do with that? Yep, there we go. We've sorted it. That was a bit of a glitch. Okay, so that is now the area blocked off. We can get the hoover. We'll grab as much of this until it says that we are clear. Okay, now, there you go. Okay, let's grab that because we don't need that anymore. We'll put our water flow, and I've just made a mistake there, 'cause obviously I was too close, but that's okay because we've got plenty of time to just clear that. There we go, and we are done. Great job, $900. So that's a big help.
Good morning. While most of you were home keeping your socks dry, Plunger Guy was uphill clearing that forest road and redirecting the runoff. Now the water has picked a new hangout. The convenience store parking lots are completely flooded. Not ankle deep, not knee deep. More like, you're not standing in that. Normally, this would be prime looting territory. Small problem. Nobody can even reach the entrance. Also, who left the store door open? Because right now, the only customer walking in is the flood. Stay dry.
Okay. So we're going to go on to the convenience store. Now, again, we want to make sure we've got enough equipment to do the job. I'm going to buy a second. Oh, did I just sell that? I think I did. There we go. So we want to not do what I've just done. Oh, we're going without a pump. Huh. So bear with me. I'm just going to go back to the garage and redo that. But then again, no, because I've got a pump. I'm pretty sure of it. That was me being trigger happy with the button pushing the wrong one. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. So we've got nothing in the inventory at the minute. We're just going to have to make do with the one pump, because that will then save us having to go back. At least we've got one. That is the main important thing. Now, we want the wrench, and we want our rake, and we also want the squeegee. But at the moment, our best option, first of all, is to get hold of 3 barriers. Now, looking at the map, we are looking at moving this way. Didn't realise we could still move, but yeah, we're looking to go over here. So, just along here, we're looking for bubbles. There they are. We'll grab that drain clear. Now, again, we should have a drain coming up over this way. Yep, there's one. So we'll clear that one. And we've got another one coming up just over here. Again, looking for the bubbles. There they are. So we'll clear that. Okay, now there's another one over this way. Where it is, there it is. Right, so that is done. We're gonna go over to the convenience store where we have to take a swim. We've got dancing crisp packets. Now there's a broken pipe that we can hear. So we're going to go through the storeroom here. There's an obstacle just there. There's a shelf, so jump up and over that. And there is our leak. So we want to repair that. That is our first port of call here at the convenience store. That will now prevent any flood, and I've just dropped that. Didn't want to. Right. So now we've done that, the drains on the street are going to help reduce the flow of water in the store and the car park. So, as you can see, we are currently able to walk on the path in certain places. There's a drain just here, but because we have a swimming pool currently, we can't do a lot with that. So we're going to make sure that our drains are completely clear up here, just to help bring that water flow down. It was over here we had one. Again, clear all the sludge. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to drain down a bit, because at the moment it's more a swimming lesson in certain parts. Now, there's a drain just here. Can we get to it? Yep. There we go. So that's another one clear. Okay, so we can actually start walking in this area now. So I'm going to make a start on clearing these drains around the convenience store. Okay, so that's 2. Now if we have a look here, there's 2 on the back. So we'll take a wander. We want our rake ready. And apparently there's one right on top of us, so let's have a nose. Right here, there we go. So we'll clear the sludge from that one. Now there's another one just up here, which I can see there. So we'll clear the sludge away from that one. So that's now the convenience store currently being emptied. We've stopped the pipe leak as well, because that was part of the reason for this to be flooded. But you can see already this was completely submerged underneath, so it's dropped quite considerably. We've got dancing crisp packets in the water here. So that's all we can do in the convenience store area for the time being. For now, we'll continue to clear our drains. You can already see the difference in the level of the water. That really has made such a difference. Right, our next drain is here. So we're just going round, clearing all the excess sludge that keeps reappearing. So we'll sort those out. Now, over here on this particular drain, that is the street now done brilliant. We've got this little area here, which is the office parking. Now, what we can do with this one, we can grab the pump and we can put that straight into the drain, if it'll let me. Did that go in? Nope, not quite. Come on. There we go. Right, so that's gone in, but it's not gone in how I wanted it to. So let's try again. There we go. Is it going? Is it? Yep, there we go. Okay, so that will now drain directly into the drain for us. So we haven't got to worry there too much about filling any other car park, etc. So it's not the best of flow, but it's still going to at least help with that area. Over here, let's have a look. So over in this direction, we've got 2 drains. Now we've got one here in this location. And we have a storm drain just here. Now, we need to go and get the shovel for that one. So we'll run over and go and get that. That's still flowing nicely. It's got some water going down there from it, but at least the supermarket drainage will, or the convenience store drainage, will help with the flow of that. So let's now head down here for now. We've got sludge reappearing. Right, let's give this one a good dig out. We'll go as far as we can with it until we can see it. It's not quite there yet. Come on, there we go. So the flow is just starting to go for us. There we go. We'll clear the rest of the area away. So that now tells us that we are completely clear. And that drain now has a really good flow. Okay, so that's that one underway with draining. Now over here we've got water flowing in this general direction. We want to try and avoid that if we can. So I think what we'll do, I know we're currently draining the office car park, but we need to borrow that pump because this donut forgot to bring any pumps with him apart from this one, which wasn't the best idea. Right, so we'll grab that and we'll put this here against the wall as close as we can. Nope. Come on. Play ball with me, please. Right. There we go. Okay. So we want to bring that over this way. Now, connect that to our pump. If it will let me. Come on. It's just having a bit of a senior moment. There we go. Thank you. Right. Now, where's... Oh, we've got to go back and grab the generator because I forgot it needed that one. That area's just completed for us. So that's roadside lot and the street now done. The convenience store is still draining away. We will need to go and check on the drains very shortly. But we're going to, first of all, just get these barriers in place because we want to stop that flow of water over there. Now, that should not take long to fill up for us, hopefully. Is it going? Yeah, it's going. Slowly, but surely we'll get there. In the meantime, while that one's filling, we'll grab our second barrier. And what we want to do with that is we want to kind of... No. Come on. Play ball with me today. Right, so we go just off here. There we go. That will work. And then we'll go to here with it. Now, the reason for that is so we can redirect the water flow from over there directly into our drain here. And that is without it causing us a problem with filling up here. So let's first of all grab those. I'm gonna do it again to me, aren't you? There we go. Okay, so those two are going in place. Now we want to ideally stop the flow from happening underneath it, because as you can see there is a little gap. So we're going to place this one not there. Want to get that one as close as we can to the edge, because we want to block off as much of it as possible, because we don't want the water coming back this way. So we'll completely seal off any area here. There is a little gap there, but it's not intrusive to the point where it's coming through. So it is just here that it's coming through. So we'll get those set up. If we need to, we've got another barrier anyway. But I think the 3 barriers is more than enough to seal that area from the water flowing. That is done, dusted, and we'll grab the hoover, get any excess from there, and we'll be able to then tell if we've still got water coming through. But so far we have defeated that water from flowing this way, and as you can see, we've got a really nice flow coming this way. So that's going off into our storm drain. So that is one good thing. We'll grab the rake and we'll get that done. Now we want to pick up those two. I'm not so worried about that area as of yet fully anyway. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, so we've still got water flow there, but it's not dramatic enough that we need to worry. But we'll clear the sludge anyway, because that will be a much better option. Hear it gargle then. Okay. We've got another 2 over here. Be interesting to see what's going on over there. I think our drains need unblocking there as well. So we'll head down here. At least you can now start to see the floor level, which is a bonus. Yeah, we need to just drain those. Okay, clear the sludge on these. So the supermarket area is almost clear. We've just got to declog the drains so that that can carry on draining. We've still got the office car park to clear next as well. Roadside lot 2, office parking, front lot, back lot. So they're to do with obviously the convenience store in the front lot, back lot, service corridor, supply room, and shopping area. They all need clearing out. So, well, that is going to be doing the office car park for us. Let's try our best to get that in there. Brilliant. Right. Grab hold of our generator. I think we'll put the Jenny right there, and then there isn't much distance for the pump and the generator anyway. And not just that, but it's also going to be a bigger help. Okay, so that is sorted. We'll get the rake and just clear any sludge from these drains, because obviously we're going to go and work inside the convenience store to finish that. There's not really a massive amount we can do in the convenience store cleaning wise. What's happened to me torch? There it is. Okay. So, realistically, all we can let it do is let it drain at the moment. But at least we can work our way through and do some investigations of what's kind of left to go. So we'll leave that to its own devices for now. Let's make sure that we can certainly let the sludge out. Now, I'm gonna go, after I've done this, and get the torches or the lamps, because we're in total darkness virtually and just working under torchlight. So we'll grab that from there. Okay, so this area is almost done now. So we want to take this. Oh, there we go. Right, so we want to take this in here because we need to investigate how much water is left. And obviously we need to hoover it. Now, I don't know why it said that the storeroom was complete then, because it's still virtually underwater. But yeah, we'll head in through here. Helps if you don't get stuck. You pay attention to where you're going. Right. So over here we've got that storm drain, so we can release the flow of the water from the hoover inside the storm drain. Right. Okay, so back in here and back to the rear storeroom. Okay, we're gonna give this a good drain. Obviously the water flow will leave the shop at the same time, because obviously it's all got the drains out the front. So with those doing their work, obviously we can just assist it. So we'll just clear any sludge. There's nothing we can do about the crisp packets. It's more the sludge that we want to worry about. But yeah, we can certainly clear that. And that can help us in the process. Right, let's go and empty this hoover. Alley up. Okay, right. Down that hatch. Okay, so what just clicked off? The back lot. What else is there to do? We've still got the service corridor, supply room, and front lot, and the office parking and roadside too. So that's a couple of jobs left to go. How we're looking over here, not doing too bad. To do with assisting this just quickly, because there's not a lot else we can do with the convenience store at the moment. So let's go ahead, grab the squeegee, and we'll come over here and we'll start with helping by push the water down towards the pump. Obviously we got a good pile of water there with the squeegee. So this area here on the top is kind of like a hilly area. So we want to kind of just assist it in pulling the water down. We'll go from here. We've got a bit there. It's not doing too bad though. How's the drain looking? That could do with being unblocked. Like so. I'm going to keep those clear as best as possible so we don't have to keep chasing areas. Another one just here. See, I'm just using the solid movement and it's not doing any clearing, so it's a case of you need to select manual one. Sorry, the automatic one, but it kind of helps in a way, even though you've still got to hold the button. I just think a bit more hands-on would be a better solution for it. What we got here? We got any more? Bit hard to tell with the crisp packet. There's a bit there. We'll run round the back. There's some more there. And some more sludge there. Lovely. Okay. Let's go check out the storeroom and what have you, because we are yet still to have that empty. So the shopping area's done. There's the service corridor left to clear, and we've got the supply room that we're still working on clearing. So all we can do at the minute is just by grabbing the hoover to hoover everything up. That's going to tell us it's full. So this just assisting the emptying of the water out of the building. So we're going to now go to our drain over here and we'll empty that. There we go. Job's done there. Now over here, and we'll have a look. So you can still see a decent amount of water. But all we can realistically do is just assist it by doing what we're doing. Okay, so the supply room is almost finished. And jump down and run through. Again, straight to the service area. That is the front lot complete. Right, so we'll go to our service drain, drop that in, done, and back we go. Right. Service corridor is yet to be done as well. We'll grab what's left here of the supply room. Not much more, I don't think. We'll be completely clear very shortly. There's a bit there, but as we progress, as you can see, the progression bar is dropping. So I don't think we need much longer on that. I think it should sort itself. We'll keep our drains clear. That will certainly help drain all the water. Another one just here. Okay, so we'll go and run that over to here and drop that in there. Lovely. Okay, now we haven't got to worry about the car park here at the minute. I just need to check on our office area. The office car park is almost complete, so we'll just give it some assistance. That was another area just completed. So service corridors done, and we've got supply room left. Okay, so I think we'll just quickly, that's gonna start struggling very soon. We'll just quickly run through here. Service corridor is done, as I said. It's just the supply room that we need to finish. And it helps if I can find the right tools. Okay, so there we go. Service room done. Now we can grab that, take that with us. Okay. And we'll head here. Now I know it's starting to get light, but we'll take the light here anyway, just to be on the better side. Now, with the office car park, there isn't much more to remove out of it, so we can grab the vacuum and hoover up any excess. That will certainly clear it. Again, we don't want to throw it here on the street. So what we really want to do is empty it in here. Right. Okay, so clear that drain. That will certainly help clear this area. And we want to grab the hoover again. And again, hoover up around here. So we're nearly full again. Doesn't take long to fill. Alley up. over we go. Do a bit of show jumping over the sandbags. Oh, there we go. Right. So our barrier system protecting us from that is working really, really well. We do still have water flow here. Now, whether that is because it's coming through, that could possibly be the answer. The only way we can really tell is by clearing it like we're doing. Yes, so there's more puddle there. Is that because it's coming through, or could it just be that it's coming off of the car park over the other side? Don't know. Could possibly be. There we go. Right, that's completely cleared. Now, if I'm right, there's nothing to do there. So all we've got left is the office parking lot, which is still remaining here. As again, there's not much to clear anyway. So we'll just grab anything left. Okay. Again, done. So go and empty that down our main drain. Okay. Now we'll head back and go and get that last tiny bit that it's saying is in here. Okay. There's not much more left to go. And then this one will be complete. Move over here so we don't get anything on there. Oop. Right. Clear that. That is a definite needing to be done. Just that one at the minute. Nothing on that one, is there? No. Okay. And we've got some sludge there, which will clear. We are almost done on this level. We've just got the office area to complete. There's some just here. We're almost there now. Another run. We'll go and empty this one. Again, go down the storm drain. No, don't go on with there. Nearly. Nearly ended up with on the road. Right. So. There we go. And we're done. Brilliant. $1,200 in the bank. Okay.
Breaking update. The convenience store is dry again. Our plunger-equipped hero has once more bullied the flood into submission. One resident told us,
I secured 3 packs of toilet paper, but it's all soggy!
tragic. Meanwhile, the mountain has entered the chat. A landslide above the farm is sending water straight into the farmhouse and barn. If you're volunteering, bring digging equipment. Because apparently, we're farming mud now.
Okay, so episode 2, which will be tomorrow, we will take a look at the farm and any other levels from that point. I hope you've all enjoyed watching. Thanks again for joining. Bye for now.
Avast, ye scallywags! If ye enjoy this video, don't be a scurvy dog. Mash that like button and subscribe to me channel. Fair winds to ye all. Thanks for watching me hearties, and I'll see ye in the next voyage.